This is a tutorial video for Ryan. Ryan, this is your 89 Sabers Graflex, completed with the install of the Goth 3D master chassis with the Profi board and the crystal chamber and the NeoPixel and the rotating crystal chamber. So we'll get to all that in a second. Yeah, you're going to be getting your Saber back just like this. You'll see you have your stock NeoPixel connector updated inside. We are still missing your screw. I spent a lot of time looking for this screw until you told me that you actually misplaced it before you shipped to me, so hopefully you find it. But I also, just to let you know, I shortened this screw inside a little bit, because what was happening was when you put your blade in, your chassis was kind of, the whole blade holder was shaking a little bit back and forward because the screw wouldn't tighten all the way into the blade. Now it will tighten just the right amount. All right, so we'll go ahead and open it up. You know the drill on how to open the Saber. When you open it up, that reveals your new master chassis from Goth 3D. All right, the design of this chassis in particular, you do have to take off the clamp as well to access your recharge port, which also functions as your kill key. So you're essentially your on-off switch. So this cover is held down by magnets, such as sits on magnets on and off nicely. And then you just pull out your kill key.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
And it goes on to your first font, which is your Graflex Luke Skywalker A New Hope. So you'll see your crystal chamber. And I also put in some accent LEDs for you in here and covered them with mesh, which I think came out as really nice. This mesh behind here was actually not part of the original chassis design. Of course, you have full access to your Profi board and your SD card right here. Great access for adding any extra fonts. And let's go ahead and switch it on again. With the kill key, I'm not sure how familiar you are with these, but a few things to note. You can also twist it. So you can twist it so the notch faces backwards and, you know, lets the power come on, just to show you. So this notch has to be facing towards the front of the Saber to kill the power. And if you, just to store the key, I guess, you can put it in facing the back of the Saber. And then you can clip your cover back on. Activation switch and auxiliary switch, as you know. And there's your spinning crystal chamber. Of course, you have your smooth swing and all your fonts are still on there. Some of these fonts are just some of them have done some different stuff with your accent LEDs, like moving back and forward or pulsing or whatever. And some of them I just, because you know you had a lot of fonts on here. Some of them I just copied the blade style that was in your config, and I just copied and pasted that onto the crystal and onto the accent LEDs. But a few here and there I did put some nice touches for you. See, like that has a flickering crystal.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
This one I think has a pulse from cyan to blue and goes on blue. See, this one goes over and back. And then when you turn on it, it's the same thing, I think, when you turn on. Let me show you another couple of different ones. Oh, this is a particular nice one. This is a cycle that keeps getting faster and faster. So, you know, just a couple of different styles to mess around with. And this one is back to back and forward. Yeah. Of course, you do have your gesture controls still on there. You got all the stab on and twist on, and I copied everything from your original config, so I think you had stab on there, right? There you go. Yeah, stab on, twist off. All those things are still on there.
I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't
And
have
then you
come.
know to hold down 1 second is your music.
I'll never join you. If you only knew the power of the dark side.
There you go, music. That's basically it. You know, it's pretty straightforward. Of course, this is your charging port. I'm going to send you one of these chargers. It comes with it. I also send you back all your original parts from when I disassembled your original chassis. You know, like I said, I got to reuse your Profi board, but I couldn't reuse your speaker. It wasn't the right size. Couldn't reuse your NeoPixel connector. I think it's best to upgrade to the stock anyway. You know, it came out really beautiful, I think, with this rotating chamber. The rotating chamber, if you hear, has a little bit of a hum from it. Personally, I like it. I think it fits in nicely with the sound of the Saber. And let me just show you how to put everything back together. One more thing, actually. What I've done as well for you. Actually, let me just show you a couple of these controls. I'll also send a sheet, detailing all the button controls. I don't know if you're familiar with the 2-button FET 263 Fernando Rosa's buttons, but a lot of it is gesture control. So if you press downwards, you're now cycling backwards through the fonts with the auxiliary.
I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker.
And what I wanted to show you was, because I found it's a little bit tedious, putting this on and off every single time. Actually, let me put your cover on first. And that will probably give us the timeout I'm looking for. I basically have it on a 60-second timeout. So there's your cover back on. You clamp back on. And with your clamp back on, you now don't have access to your recharge port. So your kill key, you don't have access to your kill key. So, you don't want to have to, if you don't want to take this on and off every time, this will time out after 60 seconds and all your lights will go out. It doesn't entirely kill power to the board, but it does help a lot with battery drainage. So it's going to go off. Has it been 60 seconds yet? There we go. So 60 seconds, the lights go off. The board is kind of now in sleep mode, just to save your battery so you don't have to open this up every single time. And to wake it up again, you just turn it on. So let me put it back together. And like I said, I will send an instructional sheet with all the details. But there's a couple of things like obviously on off, auxiliary switch for changing fonts. If you use the 2, if you do auxiliary and then button.
Battery level 92%.
It speaks your battery level. If you do it the opposite way, button
Enter volume menu.
and auxiliary, it enters a volume menu. When you're in the volume menu, hold it like a flashlight and twist it.
Maximum volume.
Twist it to the right to go up. Twist it to the left to go down. So maybe you can't even hear that on camera, but it just went all the way down like beep, 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 and then it says minimum volume.
Maximum volume.
And up to maximum volume.
Maximum volume.
And just press this to save
Volume menu end.
out of the volume menu. And then I'm sure your color change while the blade is on, do the same sequence, and then you can rotate the blade to change your color. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to be shipping this out to you today after I finish up this video. So hope you enjoy it. It came out beautifully with the new chassis, and may the force be with you.